A social engineering attack can be split into 4 steps. 1. Information gathering. Hackers will research online using services like Google, Maltego, or username harvesters. 2. Relationship development. The goal is to create trust by interacting with the target, either by mail, telephone, or in person. 3. Exploit the trust. Hackers will obtain what they need, either by making someone do something or only retrieving valuable information. 4. Execution. Using the obtained data, hackers will access a system, a facility, or get new information from another person. And so on. The cycle is set on repeat until the malicious end goal is achieved. Will thieves really go through your garbage? Absolutely. Many hacks and identity thefts come from information left in the dumpster. Thieves go through trash because they know the documents you discard as garbage contain personal identity information that can be spun into gold when used in a variety of illegal manners. Pre-approved cards, credit card bills, bank statements, medical records, and many more include some personal information about you. So be careful what you're throwing away. Phishing is a very common method of social engineering. It represents an attempt to get information from the target by masquerading as a legitimate entity. The life cycle of a phishing campaign is short. Around half of the victims of phishing attacks respond within the first hour of receiving the scam message. This is the golden hour of the phishing site's existence, as it is still undetected by IT security vendors. The main target for phishing campaigns is the financial sector, with 46% of all attacks. Phishing messages are leveraging strongly on global events. Some examples are the 2008 banking crisis, the latest US elections, the refugee crisis in Europe, the Olympic Games in Brazil, or the major privacy breaches, for example, Target, or recent denial of service attacks. When it comes to online banking, phishing is the most common method of performing an attack. First of all, the attacker sends a phishing mail. The victim clicks on a link and goes to the phishing website. The phishing website asks the victim for personal information. The victim, unaware of the true nature of the website, provides personal information and credentials. The attacker collects these details from the malicious server and uses the stolen credentials to access the victim's bank account. Finally, the attacker creates fund transfers and drains the account. Here are some characteristics that every phishing campaign has. It looks genuine, propagates via email, spelling varies, Sharky instead of Shark, Bank of America instead of Bank of America. There is an email attachment, and it has a tone of urgency. How do you identify a phishing email? It is possible to check the sender's IP address. Who is the owner of that IP? When was the domain registered? You can answer those questions by using services like whois.com. Does the address of the sender look familiar? Are there any suspicious attachments or links? Is there a sense of urgency? Are you threatened, for example, by having a locked account, a blocked connection, or insufficient storage space? Are the contact details missing? If you click the suspicious link, check the address, the URL. Before you enter any credentials, is it the secure version of HTTP? Check grammar and spelling. What is the overall look and feel of the website? Internet is a battlefield. Cyber warfare has gone from the theoretical to the alarmingly real. Several recent incidents have shown that hackers can cause just as much damage as more traditional military attacks, crippling global economies. They use malicious software, which is specifically designed to disrupt or damage computer systems or networks. This is referred to as malware. Do you know the difference between a virus, a Trojan, or a rootkit? A computer virus is a malware program that, when executed, replicates by inserting copies of itself into other computer programs, data files, or the boot sector of the hard drive. When this replication succeeds, the affected areas are then said to be infected. A Trojan horse is any malicious computer program which misrepresents itself as useful, routine, or interesting in order to persuade a victim to install it. Then it is used to steal information or deploy botnets. A rootkit is a collection of computer software, typically malicious, designed to enable access to a computer or areas of its software that would not otherwise be allowed. Malware is a constant threat since the time Zeus was created. Nearly each year, another version, type, modification is released into the wild. They are more sophisticated, they evolve, and create panic by not only stealing funds from accounts, but also by spying and stealing intellectual property. An average of 227,000 new samples of malware per day have been detected in the first quarter of 2017 alone. Cybercriminals are becoming more and more confident of their abilities, putting themselves in a position in which they can demand millions in ransom or put the data up for sale on the black market. Let's take, for example, SpyEye. It's a malware program that attacks users running any web browser on the Windows operating system. The malware uses keystroke logging and form grabbing to steal user credentials. Once the system is infected, SpyEye downloads a configuration file that contains the list of websites to monitor. When the user accesses any of the listed sites, SpyEye performs field injection. The part of the website where the user normally enters credentials is covered with similar-looking content, except with added fields, for example, additional ATM PIN. The stolen information is sent to a remote site. The attacker is able to steal money from the online bank accounts and initiate transactions, even while valid users are still logged into their bank accounts. A man-in-the-middle attack is a type of cyber attack where a malicious actor inserts himself into a conversation, impersonates both parties, and gains access to information that they were trying to send to each other. Man-in-the-middle attack allows a malicious actor to intercept, send, and receive data meant for someone else or not meant to be sent at all, without the parties knowing until it's too late. Man in the browser is part of the man-in-the-middle family, with the only difference that the attack is taking place at the browser level. Nearly all banking attacks are man in the browser, since this is the only way to interact with the online banking application. A Trojan horse infects a web browser by taking advantage of vulnerabilities. It modifies web pages and transaction contents or inserts additional transactions, all in a completely covert fashion, invisible to both the user and the host of the web application. This concludes the second part devoted to exploring various fraud techniques. Learn more today. Visit VASCO.com.